straight away, straight away, right? As we do, we give thanks to all of those who have made this possible for us here on the galaxy of we.net, for us to be here right now. All those who are present, and those who are with us in our past, and those who are in the future, right? Because you know, so that this stone just keeps moving and rolling still, you know. And we just give real appreciation for all of you. So if you pour your libations, call the names, call their names, bring them to life, bring them to life. Grand risings, my sister Sandra.
Greetings, greetings, Grand Rising, Brother
Mhm.
Aston.
All right, you're sounding clear from this side here, but I've
Yeah.
just got to sort out the sound, music sound. You know what happened there? Just everything just plop. I don't know what's
Well,
going on.
I've just got a bit of music in my background. So
Mm.
it's a regular Thursday night, Friday morning.
It's a celebration. It's a celebration of
It's a
the day, man.
yes, yes,
It's a
yes. A
celebration.
regular celebration, week in, week out. And the music's, to be fair, it's not too bad. I don't mind the music. So
Yeah,
hey
yeah,
ho.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's a lullaby. It's like a lullaby after a week.
Yes, yes, yes. It has all the right beats and the tempo, and you're thinking, yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah, 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 yeah. I know that one. I know them type of music there. I know them
yeah.
too. But
But it's not as loud as the one on Monday. Monday was felt like it was next door, whereas I know that this one is at least
half a mile away.
100 yards away. No, it might actually be a half. No, it can't be half a mile. Where I'm
Yeah,
thinking it is, no, it actually might be half a mile. To be
yeah,
fair,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
because I know sound travel over there, so so
Yes, yes, yes. And the boxes are big.
yeah,
They are still these big woofers that you stand next to and you all vibrate.
that's good. That's good still. That's good still. Because one of the things that I did always admire when I was working in Brazil, right? Thursday,
Mm.
Thursday, Thursday evening was the beginning of the weekend, and I thought, but no, 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 Friday, and I said, you know what? They're right, because Friday, Friday, you're ready for it now. You know, it's not Friday night; it's Friday day.
Yep, yep, yep,
On
yep.
Thursday, they take a run up at it and they go on with it the same way. Which is
It's like having a meal. You have a starter first to
mm, mm.
prepare yourself and your body for the main meal coming ahead, and
On
it's exactly the
on
same.
Saturday night, what?
Hmm.
Telling you. It was a nice experience out there still, it's a let's say the lifestyle out there, and the opportunities
Mm,
are completely different to other places that I've been to. Everybody
mm,
everybody everybody has still struggle, you know
mm,
but
mm.
it's not as dominant as what it would be in a lot of places.
Okay, so they still had a smile on their face and the
Yeah,
sun
yeah.
on their back.
No matter what or where, everybody that's a nice, everybody
Mm,
that's nice.
mm,
Don't get
mm.
me wrong, you had your elements, but
Yeah, yeah.
a foolishness that's a foolishness that because why?
Yeah, doesn't matter which corner, there's always someone with their foolishness.
Mm, 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 mm.
But
And it's just how it is. It's just how it is.
mm,
It's
mm,
just how it is. And like
mm,
different places have different values and standards and everything. So, but yeah,
mm.
yeah, yeah, I did enjoy that when I was out there. First Thursday night, oh, war. That was it. That was it, man. It's on it. You know.
Does that mean no hollow legs? You need to better stand firm,
Yeah,
eat good and stand firm.
yeah, 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 yeah. Big pot of cook and everything and go on, and
Mm, mm,
everybody are move together. Everybody are move
mm,
together and everything.
mm,
Right? Yeah, life is life, man. Life is life. Wow,
mm,
I tell you. Yeah, but we're blessed, because we as human beings, we're blessed to just have life. We
mm,
just have to appreciate whatever, wherever, what we got.
mm.
You know what I mean? So Anyhow. So, anyhow, right, it's the 21st today,
Yeah.
21st, right? Faculty of the month or this lunar month, because it's, as things change, we change in ourselves. And the highlight of this month is knowledge of the past, present, and future.
Mm,
Yeah. And
mm,
that is our foundation. So to add to my affirmations of the time is peace is my nature,
mm-hmm.
oneness is my foundation, right? And then knowledge of past, present, and future is our destiny.
Okay.
You know, so that's how I'm building my one right now. So
Okay.
so true.
S-
So true. And your
For
affirmation
me,
is.
so my affirmation is I'm living on purpose and I'm on schedule.
Come.
So I'm not building in the same way. So I will use different
Mhm,
affirmations, but there's a couple that I always go back to, and that I'm on purpose and
mhm,
I'm living on purpose and I'm on schedule, because sometimes I get ahead of myself, or I go back into coulda, woulda,
mhm,
shoulda, and that helps me to stay grounded.
mhm,
That part of that coulda, woulda, shoulda made me the beautiful soul that I am today.
mhm,
And my
mhm.
past does not have to be a reflection of who I am in a
Exactly.
negative format.
Mm, mm.
So
The thing is, we can press that reset button at any time.
yeah,
That,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
this is just the thing that a lot of us feel say, oh, we have to wait for a special time and date and all
yeah,
that.
yeah,
No,
yeah. Needs
no,
to, yeah, it needs to be a Monday, or it needs to be a birthday, or it needs to be an anniversary, or it needs to be the 31st of, or the first of the
mm,
year, or the
mm,
month, and you're thinking, no, do it. Don't, yeah. If you want to make that change,
mm,
don't sit down there procrastinating and giving yourself a excuse
mm,
and justification as to why you need to wait until a said time or a said hour on a said day.
mm, mm,
There's no guarantee. Stay in the present. Do it now.
mm. Exactly, exactly. Because one of the things we have to admire is that our timeline and being within ourselves, right? And knowing yourself is a very, very important place to be, right?
Mm,
To
mm,
prioritize you
mm,
yourself,
mm,
ensure that you have got your foundations around you, the foundation of as I say, is this directive there of getting to know thyself,
mm,
the all aspects of that. What do you do to actually put those things into yourself? And the thing is that knowing yourself is like building your own corporation, building your own foundation, building your future, right?
mm,
Whether you wish to branch out with children, right?
mm,
But they have to go on their own individual journey as well. Although you may be a supportive entity to that,
mm,
right? Along with others, but you have to be ready to stand on your own, and it's only by base of knowledge and understanding, right, that you be able to stand on your own to move forward in a progressive manner, right?
mm,
Does it stop? No, no, it doesn't stop, right? Mainly because of the way how life always changes around us, right? Um, using a phrase that I have been using quite often recently is evolving,
mm,
evolvement, right? Life evolves. We have to evolve, no matter what age we at, because we touched on it yesterday about those who feel so that they can retire and just sit back, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Some people sit back so far that them dead when they retire. No,
Mm,
it's true. It's
mm,
true.
mm,
You
mm,
know, like physically,
mm,
mentally, spiritually, they're just dead.
mm,
They don't realize that how much they have given of themselves to an entity outside of themselves, and then they haven't put their own foundation there. So they've
mm,
been relying on these other foundations, right, to actually maintain their life source. Yeah, they put all of their energy, all of their strength, all of their time
mm,
into these outside energies,
mm-hmm,
like job, other people,
mm-hmm,
right? Um, whoever it may be, and I don't mean it in a selfish manner, but you have to look to do for yourself as well, and your well-being. Sometimes it's difficult to say, you know what, I have to take my space, my time for me.
mm,
It can be very difficult at times to do that, because when you're in that habitual giving
mm,
and or being there, that is a difficult task for many of us to just say, you know what, let me just take the time for myself.
mm.
Some of us feel guilty about it. Some of us don't.
Well, there is that analogy, and for those of us who travel, sometimes we zone out,
Mm,
but they always say on every single airplane that you go on, every single flight,
mm,
make sure you put on your gas mask first before you help those around you.
mm,
And that, as a statement, is an analogy that we need to be mindful of,
mm,
because as much as you say we evolve,
mm,
some of us do it in a way whereby we're not actually making the best use of our time, talent, and treasure that we do have available.
mm,
So we may get older because, hey, we're still here and we're still breathing,
mm,
but are we making use of the lessons of the past in order to shape our future? Or are
mm.
we just doing the same old, same old?
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
And, to be fair, human beings, we are not always doing the being. Sometimes we're just doing the human, which is just static.
Mm, mm,
Everything else, like I said yesterday when I was speaking, I was sitting on the veranda and I was just looking at the palm trees, and none of the trees were exactly the same.
mm,
Some were higher than the others. So it just told me, and it just reminded me that life goes for it
mm,
with whatever it has by way of its resources, where it's planted, it will go for it. But as human beings, some of us check out early doors, even though we're still living and breathing,
mm,
and not learning those lessons, and not seeing if there are things that aren't quite right, seeing it as a superpower rather than as something that gives me a moaning stick to hold on to.
yeah, yeah. Well, listen, them things there, reliance on others has been
Mm,
one of those things that has griped at me for quite a while now. So therefore, I look to do things for myself,
mm,
right? In a way of that. How can I put it this way? I know it's going to sound crash, and it's going to land how it's going to land, okay? But I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it. Those who rely on the presence of an outside entity, right? In other words, they quick, quick to say to say allow the outside entity, or God willing. Um,
mm,
oh, it's for the grace of God that I woke up this morning and things like,
mm,
yeah. right? If you feel that that is how you feel, that that is an outside entity that is um, guiding your life force,
mm,
or that you still have that slave, in my opinion, a slave mentality towards something has to be there greater than you, right? All the best to you, right? But the thing is that I'm in appreciation of like being part of this planet,
mm,
right? The planet is there and it's doing all that it can do to survive in itself. And it feeds, nourishes, and sustains me as a
mm,
person in that way there. So I respect the planet in that way there, right? All of the creatures or living creatures on this planet serves their purpose. If you notice, every one of the creatures on there have a purpose of something, right?
mm, mm,
It's it's only us as humans who appear to not really have any specific purpose for being on this planet, you know. And I think to myself, all right then, if that is the case, then we should be showing appreciation for our lives to live it to our maximum, right? Whether it be joyous or productive, or in any way, what is going to be of purposeful, because we always say, oh, so what is your purpose? Yeah, we're always seeking to find that purpose.
mm, mm,
So, that is our obligation. That is our only obligation, is to live our life in full purpose,
mm,
right? Now, if I'm wrong, then we shall have a discussion at the time when I close my eye and I move to the other realm,
mm,
right? We shall have a discussion about that. And I say, oh, all right then, all right then. And I goes, well, you tell me, said that you're gonna judge me by my fruits and my labor, but judge me now. You understand? So it's not I'm being disrespectful in them ways there to anybody who has that feeling that there's a higher or a different energy and entity out there that controls ourselves, controls us, or controls our fate, right? But when you break down our life force is directed and controlled by our intentions,
mm.
and our directive by focus as well. Yeah. So hey, but that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion.
There's a yeah there's a conversation to be had in there because I'm on the other camp.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
That's why I said it will land. It will
As
land
it
how it
landed.
lands. Yeah,
Yep.
it lands how it
Yep.
lands. And so
Yep.
yeah.
And that's the beauty of having the conversation because
Mm,
recollect to my reasoning or understanding or overstanding is
mm,
that when we don't talk, then and we don't communicate, then we don't take the conversation to the next level.
mm,
We don't communicate as adults, adult to adult,
mm,
rather than, or we miss out on the beauty of communicating adult to adult,
mm,
rather than sometimes when we communicate with each other, we either do it as a parent to a child, or we
mm,
do it in a childlike stance, or we
mm.
just don't do it at all.
Exactly.
Take our baton and our ball and we go home and we don't even have that conversation. So
Mm,
we don't grow, we don't learn, and we don't then get a chance to, yeah, just have those conversations.
And the thing is, with everyone that you've met or known as an icon, right?
Mm,
We've all gone through a form of awakening and realization,
mm,
right? the realization of who we are, and that aha moment of wow, is that who I am within relationship to being in existence,
mm,
you know? And
mm,
wherever you see you are and what you see is around you, you will associate it with something that you have found tangible, something you can hold on to,
mm,
right? And then you will have your interpretation of that. Some people say, "Oh, God has spoken to me," right? Others say, "Oh, I am God," you know,
mm,
and then there's others who just say, "Boy, I was just in a different place," right?
mm,
But in reality, your physical body was still here. It's just something that just happens that you open the door to a plane of consciousness, right? And you kind of like looked into that different sphere of understanding, and then you try to interpret it in any way that you feel safe with it.
mm,
Yeah?
mm,
Right? But everybody, it seems like everybody has gone through some kind of awakening, right, in themselves, through their lives and through maturity, through lives, their life's journey, and that's how many of us can express ourselves. If
mm,
we allow ourselves to be brave enough to be truthful enough to ourselves.
mm. So you say everyone has gone through it.
Hmm.
Um, and I would say yes, but the question I'd ask on top of that is, do they understand?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because, like, you know what? One of the things that I learned also, if you're not willing to go and find out for yourself, go and read all of the material that is available to you.
Mm,
Do your only deep dive investigations.
mm,
You will be told and shown a way of thinking and being and acting,
mm,
right? And then when you're seen to be acting outside of that, right, then you are all of a sudden seen to be strange, or targeted as a opposing person to that belief
mm,
or that way of thinking,
mm,
ostracized in many ways, right, by probably your peer groups, right? Also, like you would probably develop a better and deeper appreciation for others, but they
mm,
won't reflect that back to you, right? And then some people get frustrated with the fact that, but you're supposed to have respect for all.
mm,
So why are you not respecting all,
mm,
right? And then you would then they you could sort of like develop a distance from others in preference
mm,
to saying, you know what, we are all on our path, and we have all of us have our understanding and our
mm,
interpretations, but
mm,
there is a communality, and that is the humanity of who we are. Yeah.
mm,
So in many ways, you have to look with a open mind, right? And just like languages, just like the way how people of different cultures interact with each other, you have to interpret that, right? So that you can negotiate the multiple um, cultures, understanding, values, to have a commonality of language and behavior so
mm,
that you can negotiate through the mires of life,
mm.
right? You know, but hey, that's just my opinion. All right,
So
Galaxy.
then, what I
Yeah,
would then encourage is that if there are any of our listeners out there,
exactly.
to phone in, tell us what their opinion is,
Yeah, yeah.
what their thoughts.
The number them now.
So the number is 0203
Mhm,
289 6504.
mhm,
That's 0203 289 6504.
mhm,
Or the text number is 079 4747 9219. Text number again 079 4747 9219. So
mhm,
yeah, I'm curious in terms of what the listeners are thinking.
mhm,
Share their
mhm,
thoughts. Um, yeah, what are you thinking in terms of what's been said, or do you feel has not been said that you wish to add to the mix?
mhm.
Um,
Let me just see
is that someone coming through there?
Hmm? No,
Is
no,
that
no.
someone coming through
I'm,
there?
I'm just looking at the messages to see
Okay.
if there's any new ones on
Any
there.
new text messages? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Mm,
Um, so for me,
mm-hmm,
if we're thinking about learning lessons of the past and also even as we go through life and we're evolving.
mm,
So one of the things from a Jamaican point of view, what they've started or they're looking to do, they've actually done it to be fair,
mm-hmm,
um, is because there's a problem in terms of how suitable homes shortage. So what they're looking to do is to make use of the crates that would normally carry cargo, and the ones that they showed on television, they're luxury. If you didn't see the outside and you just looked at it from the inside, you think, wow. As they said, there's tiles on the floor and they've got all the mod cons that you would expect in any home, plus solar lighting, etc., etc. So if we're thinking about the evolving and moving forward, so how does a nation support itself by way of its food kind and by way of its accommodation if that nation continues to grow?
mm-hmm,
So I just found it interesting because I know they've spoken about that in Europe and the UK. They don't tend to do it as much in the UK, but there are other countries, and I can't remember if it's Europe or other countries where they do live in, they do make use of rehouse those containers.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I actually, for the past couple of years, I've been looking at those, and I thought, wow, those are some seriously practical use of those containers. And like they've built some serious properties with those. Well, I say
Yeah,
properties, housing with those,
yeah.
And you think the durability of those. Well, they must last at least what 50 years, I would say.
Well, that's what they said. They were saying they said a number of years, something like I don't think it was 50, but it was something like 40, 35, 40 years. So if you've
Mm,
got a building that lasts that long, one bedroom, two bedrooms, they were talking about, and it's got solar panels on the roof.
mm, mm.
Like I said, unless you were outside and you saw the outside,
You would
the
never know. You would
you
never
wouldn't
know.
know
Mm, mm,
because they said you've got your roof, you've got your solar, you've got your cladding, you've got your
mm,
tiles,
mm,
and you can add the other mod cons that you want.
mm, mm,
It
because
did look swish All you just
And
need is land to put it on. They said that they'll put it anywhere that you wish, but you just need to have the land.
mhm. There's they I know that they've used some of those units now to make up like pop-up shops, shop
Mm,
units and things like this.
yeah,
I know that in when I visited when I was
Croydon.
visiting Ghana, they were using those as shop units as well there.
Okay,
So
okay.
so it's not a like a brand new idea, but
No,
I think it's very practical, very
and
practical.
that's what when I looked at it, I thought to myself, for Jamaica, it's a brand new idea, but but they did mention, Prime Minister mentioned how much billions across the world, worldwide, that is generated as a result of making use of those spaces for accommodations, or just making use of those spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to go up by something like 10 billion in the next 5 to 10 years.
What one of the things, right? Recycle. I'm very surprised that they haven't jumped onto this in Jamaica. Though recycling, right? Recycling
Mm,
materials and things like this. What was I was looking at the other day? Um, I'm trying to think of what it was now. Banana.
yeah,
Was it
there's something in the
banana?
paper. Yeah,
Using the banana stalks and things like this,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And how they could use it to even make materials, building materials as well from there. And the thing is that we have there is so much resources out there. It's only to just to put the process into
Mm,
action, right?
mm,
To ensure that you can actually build these products, right? These items, materials, right? So that you can actually construct some of these buildings that is going to be practical for everybody. So,
mm,
like even to say, okay, then um, to build some rural buildings from materials, recycled material, for instance, like schools, health
mm,
centers,
mm,
right? Community centers, to build them
mm,
from these types of materials there, right? I feel that would be an extremely practical means of actually building these things, because a lot of them, unfortunately, they've got the Europeanized or Westernized um, concept of structural building, right, where everything has to be out of rock and bricks and all this type of thing. But in effect, there has been buildings that have been built that have lasted thousands of years that are just using natural organic materials,
mm,
you
mm,
know. And yet, the ones that are built in brick and everything, all you see now is it's rubble, you know. It's just the barren site, you
mm.
know. So, you know.
No, I was looking out for, because I know I saw it in the paper earlier
Mm,
on, with in terms of the banana and using that.
mm.
Um, what was my mother saying the other day? She was
The soccer,
saying,
not the soccer road,
um, what do you call it?
the
That
trash.
they use, no, bamboo,
Mm,
and using that in terms of paper as well as other
hmm,
elements. So there are a lot of resources that Jamaica has, just because of climate,
mm,
location, yada yada, that it does need the infrastructure
mm,
in order to make it happen. So the other day, when the farmers in St. Thomas were complaining because they're growing all the onions,
mm,
but they didn't find that there was a market for the onions. So they ended up thinking, they were talking about having to destroy whatever the onions that they
mm.
effectively harvest. But I know, one of my cousins back in the day, he used to have an
Quickly,
allotment,
yeah.
and onions were the one things you'd go around his house any day, any time of the year. He'd always have onions. They'll either be hanging there to dry, or
Mm,
they'll be in the pot cooking away,
mm,
from that extreme. But you needed to dry them once they'd been harvested.
Mm-hmm.
So the onion farmers in St. Thomas met with the authorities from a farming point of view. They came to some agreement that the local onions would be sold to local markets, supermarkets, whatever. But then there was always that problem in terms of, so what do we do when we've got a glut? Because what tends to happen is that season called January, you get onions in infinitum. And then in the season called February, March, April, May, you're having to import the onions. So what they've ended up doing is going to another parish whereby they've got a heating or a type system warehouse whereby they will effectively take in all the onions, dry them out, bag them, tag them, give them back to the farmers so they can store them for ready for the market regardless of the time of year. But there's only one of that building in Jamaica. So they use it for their own business, but it has multiple uses, bearing in
For their
mind
own
it,
produce.
yeah, it's just taking out the moisture out of the produce, out of the onions, in order to give it that longevity, so you've got it all year round. So they're going to have a conversation in terms of which other produce they can.
Was it dehumidifier? Isn't it? Something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Dehumidifier.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know you can
On the
I
mass scale.
you can get them in the kitchen. You can get them for the kitchen as well, where you can dry fruits and vegetables.
Yeah,
And things like
yeah.
that. You know. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I bought myself an air fryer just before, about a year before I came out to Jamaica. And one of the features on there was dehumidifier. So I had every now and again put some chips, some plantain in there, and just left it overnight and brought it out. And hey, bit of salt, bit of black pepper, and I was good to go. Definitely good to go. Healthy snack, as they say. Healthy snack.
Yeah. Anyhow. Yeah, give him beef jerky. I'll be okay.
Well, you'd like today's paper or yesterday's paper, because they did, from a food kind, some of the meat dishes that they referred to. Even for me, I don't eat the meat, and Sharon and I did stay at that hotel in February, but the dishes that they are referring to are what, other than the fact that they look nice and we often eat with our eyes first and foremost, there are dishes that speak about, what's the name of this dish? Braised oxtail, slow cooked with root vegetables, beans served with steamed vegetables.
Let's see.
Ackee and saltfish, bruschettes with plantains, onions, garlic, and Scotch bonnet pepper. And escovitch fish, whole fried snapper, diced with pickled vegetables and served with bami. So, yes.
Saying that as you mentioned that now, I'm just thinking, boy, I have a piece of bami this and you see, you got me going now. You got me going.
But the bami, again, I was listening to something last time when I was here, and they were talking about breadfruit and the different things that you can do with breadfruit, including flour, including rice, including, rather than just including bread, using it to bake your bread. But sometimes you think to yourself, we limit ourselves because of what we know and what we're familiar with. But it's just having that creative mind to say, or going somewhere and thinking, you know what, I see that on the menu. Let me just give it a go,
mm.
see what it tastes like, and be curious. But I did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because like, what I find challenging is um, some of the ingredients of a raw food, right? Raw food eating, right? Because like even now, I still, I still like steamed vegetables and things like this, but some of them I just think, no, you can't eat them things raw. No way you can eat them things raw. You
You
know.
can, you can. Broccoli.
No,
You
no,
already know about the carrots.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I could do broccoli and all that. That's no problem. But I'm talking about like chocho and yam and things like that.
Okay, so I can't do the chocho. Uh, I didn't haven't done yam, but then
Mm,
yam and potato. I wouldn't do potato either in terms of
mm.
raw. But
Okay.
plantain.
Plantain, yes, yes, yes. I could do
So
plantain.
yeah, so there's going to be some that you can automatically say, "Yep,
Mm, mm,
I can get my head around it, and it makes perfectly good sense." There's others that I would avoid, so I'd probably dehydrate rather than eat them raw.
mm,
But mushrooms,
mm,
eating raw. Um, Okra,
mm.
but I don't
Yeah.
like it. But I've heard that yeah, that's
I usually if I'm having that I would like chop it and then put some olive oil and
marinated vinaigrette.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Then I
Mm,
can I can get
mm,
that's no problem. That's no problem. No problem. Because
mm.
I eat that by itself or in a salad type thing, you know.
Okay, okay.
But boy, there's some of them there that thinking, I mean I know about that. And of course they go, oh, it's so nutritional for you. And I'm thinking, no, don't think it's gonna go in my mouth. Not them thing. But you know what? I will have a go at most things, because like
Mm,
one of the things that I've always said, you don't know until you try, right?
mm.
And I'm still yet to experience that utopia of like vegetable dieting for a period, and then all of a sudden getting that awakening, beautiful, that energy force. I'm still
Oh,
to
you
experience that, but I've never I've,
okay?
I've never experienced it at all. Never, never.
You're missing out because I know I've done that
Mm,
with Sister Iola,
mm,
and that was over 30 days.
mm, mm. Well,
And
I don't know. Maybe one day I will wake up, and then all of a sudden I'll just be floating in my bed or something like that. I've never, as I say, I've never experienced that myself
Mm,
personally, you know.
mm,
But then when you look back on some of the testimonies, right? There's a lot of
mm,
people who have taken up certain forms of lifestyle changes and
mhm,
food rejuvenation changes,
mm.
and they have been in a state prior to that that has been extremely the other way,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like forms of addiction and
Mm,
sickness and
mm,
things like this. So I personally, I haven't really gone into I haven't lived like that,
mm.
the, the extreme addiction or anything like that, right? So maybe my expectations are a bit high
Mm,
of what the results would be. 'Cause
mm.
maybe I'm already in that euphoric state of what they are experiencing, and
Having not gone through it.
huh?
Having not gone through it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You understand? So it's not a case of, oh, that boom, that switch on moment.
Mm.
then again, I try to live a balanced life.
mm,
Um, but hey, it affects different people in different ways, isn't it? Like
mm,
some of us, adhere and swear by the vegetarian lifestyle,
mm,
you know, and how great it is and everything. And I think,
mm.
yeah, don't look too great, but hey,
No, I understand, and I have moments whereby I do swear by it, and
mm,
I've seen individuals, again, Sister Iola,
mm,
who swears by it, lives by it, and
mm,
it as in she looks she there's no you can't if you look to her, you think to yourself, you know what, this is someone who, and she tells you, you think to yourself, yeah, she's the picture of good
health,
health.
yeah, mm, mm,
And in terms of the lifestyle, yeah,
mm,
she's up. Because where did I went somewhere else, and jackfruit.
mm,
And even when I was speaking with Sharon, I said, but how did you do the jackfruit? I know you guys get it in a tin, but over here you can get the actual jackfruit.
mm,
And then creating a dish from it, of it, in terms of raw.
mm,
Beautiful, beautiful.
mm,
But it just depends on, like I said, how you
mm,
it depends on who you're eating from and where you're eating. And
mm,
a lot, and for me, I love the fact that the palette and the variety of raw has expanded from what it was, which used to be just something that looked green with a bit of orange in there, with a
mm,
bit of, it used to be boring, but now
mm,
raw is exciting in terms
mm.
of the varieties that's out there.
Yeah, yeah, and and that's another thing. Is like when you go to some of these events and they go, "Oh, it's a vegan dish," and they've got like 10 different type of things on there, and I think
Mm,
that combination there is a bit too much. You know, personally, I'm satisfied with 4 or 5 different items,
mm,
preference
mm,
to the beans and greens and beans and everything else on top of it. So,
mm,
but you know what? It is what it is. It
mm.
is what it is. So,
For me, they've just expanded the opportunity, and the restaurants that do it well and the eatery places that do it well,
mm,
they give a good tone to the possibilities of, because to be fair,
yes.
we're eating to a point whereby we some of us are eating to destruction. So we do have an opportunity of eating that will
Yes.
maintain good health, bearing in mind a larger proportion of the population are living beyond the age of 65,
And
75, 85, 90.
rightly so. And rightly
But
so.
health is the one thing that you want at that stage. You don't want to be popping those pills.
I'm telling you now, you would need to throw away that third leg. You need to throw it away. But, but what? As I say, some of us have to just be more strong-minded and determined within
Mm,
ourselves,
mm,
right? Face the
mm,
realities and facts. I think we covered some of this yesterday. Yesterday, or yeah, yesterday. Talking about taking responsibility for our health. Come on now.
mm, mm,
Come on now. How much you're putting in, how
mm,
much you're putting out.
mm,
You know how much inactivity you're actually participating in,
mm,
right? 1 or 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 7 days without
mm,
actually exerting yourself, right? It's too much.
mm,
Too much.
mm.
You got to carve that quality time out for yourself. Man. You have to
Most
carve,
definitely.
you know?
Most definitely.
Because like I know everybody is not available all the time to say, okay, I'm going to go to the gym for 2 or 3 hours, three times a week, and all
Mm,
this type of thing. But you can actually go go and just do some kind of physical activity, even if it's just a power walk for an hour, right,
mm,
from your home, just even walk around the block for an hour, yeah, some with some veracity, you know, and
sometimes we
then
make it hard for ourselves, or we
yeah,
give up. Oh, let me rephrase that. Is it we're making it hard for ourselves, or are we giving ourselves an excuse?
yeah, you know, so like it's a lot of ways I feel that it is down to the individual. It is down to the individual, you
Mm,
know. I say like we have Dr. Oliver will be coming up next,
mm,
and
yes.
he will say, you know, so a lot of it is self-inflicted,
Mm,
right?
mm,
And ignorance or naivety, I feel that is a wrong statement as well,
mm,
because if you can see and feel the results of what's happening, and it is through something that you are actually doing,
mm,
you have to take the responsibility somewhere along the line. Yeah.
mm. Well, when you're talking about food, and I know
Come to talk,
historically,
right? So I'm gonna got it for you.
so I
The
was coming
interview
or
for
you were
you.
going. I think we're both on the same plane at the
Yeah.
moment. But we were speaking about food, and historically, when I've come to Jamaica, my mother is often, if she gets papers on certain days, they will have articles about food, superfoods, good foods,
Mm,
healthy foods. So I'm just pleased to see that they still do that in 2023. So we've got
mm,
5 Jamaican superfoods: cocoa, and that's around the dark chocolate.
mm,
We also have bananas, and that's around the iron. We have broccoli, which we're aware of. We've got sweet potato and coconut. So they give you a 2-page spread with the pictures, obviously, and
mm,
advertising. Um, that can give you a bit more information as to why they're classed as superfoods,
mm.
the benefits of the said food in your diet against the happy foods that we can get. There's always a queue for the happy foods.
The what?
Happy foods,
Mm.
the KFC, the McDonald's, there's always those queues. Whereas the superfoods, very rarely do you see the queues in the same way. And
It's
happy doesn't necessarily suit our bodies. It just gives us.
that was a strange thing when I first went to Jamaica, right? The Mandeville, and now they're the KFC. Yeah, I see this big traffic jam outside this place. I said, "What the hey?"
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. Believe it.
yeah.
Thinking, oh yeah, you have all this church and everything around here. You're going to line up a KFC to relax.
Yeah, but you've said there's 2 things about that variety. A, the chicken.
Mm,
You can't go wrong with chicken in Jamaica. Any corner you're going to find chicken of some
mm,
description, baked, fried, whatever, whatever. And then whatever that secret sauce that they put on the chicken
mm,
or within KFC is the other thing then that, call it what you want from an advertising point of view.
mm.
You will get the cues. So the others need to
Well,
do effectively.
I just honestly, when I sit there, I was thinking, but weird. You got a man person there who's sending it fresh cooked lesser, and then you're gonna get this processed stuff over here, right? And I was thinking, boy, you different, man. You are different. You
It just means advertising works.
know, advertise.
That's what it is. It's advertising works. It's
Mm,
it's get it's catching people on their subconscious, on their subconscious, or some people on their subconscious. So if I think about the queues, and you mentioned the queues, we don't
Mm,
have a drive-in one this side of town, but if you go there, the way they set up their queuing system, there's always a queue.
mm,
If you're going to go there, be prepared to wait. The car park to get in, the car park's always full. Cars coming, cars going. They've got a ready market.
mm.
It's not the best thing. It's not wholesome. But the one thing that they do, like I say, from an advertising, from a price point of view, they manage to bagsy both of those two.
Yeah, yeah. And it's only a, and then again, it's only a franchise anyway. So,
Yeah, yeah.
mm,
But
yeah.
for an alternative stream of it, if it's as franchises go,
Mm,
it's a lucrative one this side of town. Like I
mm,
said, you've got the chicken that sells in any quantity
mm,
on any street corner.
mm. No, I personally feel that you have a place like Jamaica. We have such a variety of cuisines.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a surprise to me that
Mm,
Kentucky Fried Chicken won. So like
mm.
that. I'm
Well,
not
well, if
surprised
we
because they're too lazy over here, so
sorry,
they're too lazy over here.
so I lost you there.
I
They're
said
too lazy.
they're too lazy over here in the UK.
Well, I do remember back in the day in the UK when there was only one.
We,
There were far and few between,
yeah,
and I'd
one
travel all the way from Brixton Hill all the way up to Norbury in order to get a taste. But you soon grow out of it. That's what I say, and
yeah.
that's what happened to me. I grew out of it,
Mm,
needing to that little fix.
mm,
But yeah, it's just for me. It's to be mindful,
mm,
recognize what's good for you, what serves you,
mm,
and making sure or ensuring that your body gets what it needs
mm, mm.
in
Well,
between what you want.
as we do encourage you to do,
Mhm.
as the Galaxy family,
Mhm.
home cooking, home cooking, home cooking.
Mhm.
If you don't know it, then find somebody who does
Mhm.
and be nice to them.
Well, even if you're going to go out and eat, just be mindful of what you're eating or where you're eating.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I would say.
Get to know the chef.
Yeah, yeah. Get to know the chef.
Yeah,
Important commodity and important service is
mm,
keeping everything moving, giving someone another job, an opportunity, but getting to know the chef.
mm, mm. Get to know the
And if
chef.
you've got an opportunity of you've got a veranda and you've got buy some plant pots and plant your own.
Mm,
Coming up to planting season, things like tomatoes, things about your vegetables. Start thinking about with I don't think you've gone through the last frost yet,
mm,
but start thinking about the seeds.
mm. Yeah, dry them out and let them go out.
Yeah.
Mm.
Dry them out and let them.
Yeah, let them. You can put them out.
Yep. Yep.
Dry them
Not
out.
until the first frosters or the last frosters died away,
Mm.
but definitely you can start doing that preparation, making use of
As
nothing better than growing your own.
as we have been doing with the Black Farmer Support Group,
Mm.
there's some feedback, right? And hopefully that's a bit better. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, as we have been doing with the Black Father Support Group, we've been able to secure a piece of land up by Croydon there at Good Foods Matters, right? And the invitation is up there for you to come and have a look and to participate in growing some stuff there as well. We have the greenhouses, we have kitchen facilities there as well, so you can we can do some preparation of foods as well, you know. But right now is the ground preparation of the ground. So you know, if you're interested to come up there,
Mm.
get
Come
into.
up there with a shovel and some
No, no,
boots.
we got all of that. You just need to bring yourself on some
Okay,
clothing, appropriate clothing.
okay, okay.
Mhm.
The many
And
hands make light work.
right, as the invitation is there for on Fridays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Right, so you can.
Mm.
It's a good food matter. So I'm gonna try and find the address first so I can mention it as
No, that's beautiful because that then gives those who are able to, it gives you a chance to get out into the great outdoors,
well. Mm-hmm.
to appreciate and understand um, the growing cycle,
Mm-hmm.
and then to eat what you've grown and or others have grown by way of community, by way of laughing and joking, by way of we're having a good time. We're also doing this, but we're also having a good time. So if you're able to share the details for the family, just to pass up, pass around, pass through with the appropriate clothing, stop a little bit and help and support, and yeah, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely beautiful.
Let me just see. Just look at
So
this.
whilst you're looking for that, I'll just give out the number again.
Yeah, yeah.
The telephone number is 0203 289 6504, and the
The
text
text,
number is
text line.
07947 479219.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you're able to join us, join our conversation. So far we've looked at, well, we started at a very political topic, hot topic, and as Brother Aston said, he's going to land how it's going to land.
Mm-hmm.
But he was respectful in that. But yeah, if you want to talk, or you want to talk about food, or if there's another subject that you wish to talk about, yeah, pick up the phone, give us a call,
Yeah,
send in a text message, and we see how it goes.
yeah. Well, the big one. Why am I getting all this feedback? I'm getting a lot of feedback in somewhere. Hold on, just a second. Ah, get my shoulder. Right. Yes. Oh, that's a bit better. Yeah. Perfecto. Yeah. You know what's happening? What's happening over here in town, right? Especially here in the South London area. Anyway, one of our musical icons has passed on, Jashaka. So today they're having a an appreciation or 9 night of celebration, and we're doing that's taking place in the Goldsmith University, right? And that's on Lucian Way. Let me see if I can get the full details up here. Then I can da-da-da-da-da. Where are you?
So that's likely to be a roadblock.
Well, yeah, I would assume so, but it's from 3 p.m. 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Right, so
Okay.
it's an early session,
Mm,
right?
mm,
Right, that's at Goldsmith, the Great Hall, Roger Hall, Lucian Way, London, SC14 69NW. That is Lucian Way, London, SC14 6NW. It's the Goldsmith University. Right,
mm,
so if you go as you go through the main, hold on, if you put yours on mute. Right, as you go through the main gate of the university, you just walk up to the main door, and the hall should be left or right of that side there. So it's not a case of you got to walk around the whole of the campus of the university. It's literally right near the entrance, because so you should be able to find it pretty easy. And I do anticipate thousands being there, thousands. So don't come with your saucer hand and all them things there because boy, there's a whole heap of pressure upon people in that way. There's in them ways there. And also there is another one which is down in the New Cross area, down by the Moonshot, right? Community center. Whether it's inside or outside, I'm not too sure, but I'm sure that they will be there in celebration as well this afternoon, this evening as well, as them string up. I saw them go play, you know. So I my anticipation that this afternoon, this evening is going to be a serious celebration of life in them ways there, you know. And then obviously, the anticipation of the dollars, that should be near on a community state funeral. Maybe he could coincide with the coronation of a roadblock. Yeah? They could have a roadblock still, you know. See who give way first. you know. So yeah, it's yeah. So we have just Shaka of his funeral this, so or it's night this evening. Okay.
No, that's so. There's something else happening this weekend with Auntie Jean and the filming of
Oh, yeah. That's on
yeah,
Sun.
that's on
Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah,
That's on Sunday.
yeah.
Um, if I can find it again.
So that was that's a film with
Oh,
someone that um, they've spoken on her show, and they would also have spoken at the Black Market last week.
there's
I
a
know I've
documentary.
yeah, yeah, I found it. So it's
You got it?
Thor, THOR versus The Purge film
Mhm.
screening, and it's on Eventbrite, and that is on Sunday, the April the 23rd at 7 p.m. British Standard Time. So it is
Mhm.
going to start prompt,
Mhm.
and tickets can be obtained via Eventbrite.
Mhm.
Yeah. How else can they get tickets?
Mhm.
Is it just
No,
via
because it's an online event, isn't it?
mm, mm. Yeah.
Right? So obviously you have to. What's going on here?
So as long as they put in
Yeah,
Thor
really.
T dot
T.
dot O dot R
Mhm.
versus The Purge PURGE, the event should show up within Eventbrite, and they can
Mhm.
purchase their tickets from there. I think the
That's right.
tickets are £5.
£5, four, £5,
Or
five,
four.
something like that.
Yeah. So the considering the price of the ticket is reasonable, and you
Mhm.
then got an opportunity afterwards for you to effectively collectively have a conversation with the director who is the actor, and talk about what you saw, insights, any discoveries, any thoughts. So yeah, sit down, get your ticket,
Mhm.
sit down with the family, watch it on the big screen, and enjoy is what I would say. Yeah,
Mhm.
£5 and 4p
That's it.
is the ticket.
Support your independent films.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
very much so. Yeah. But I know that when I was listening to him speaking about the production,
Mm,
they're very keen to say, yep, it's going to start on time. So you get your ticket and you turn up late. Don't expect to. It's not like you're walking. It's like you're walking in the cinema. The
mm,
lights are already down, credits have already rolled. They've done the advertising, and the film starts. So come in quietly is what I'd say. Come in
mm,
quietly,
mm.
popcorn in hand.
I, would- I recall a funeral that was broadcast over. Oh, this the feedback is. Oh, don't know what we can do about this. Hold on, let me go out and come in, and then see if it will ease the problem here, because
I was almost going to say, did you want me to go out and come back in? But it looks like Brother Aston's
yeah, let's see.
taken. Does that?
No, 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 no. I
Do
think
you want?
yeah.
I'm going to have to go out.
Sign back in and see if it will clear it up,
Okay.
because there seems to be a build up of reverb here somewhere. It's reverbing somewhere, and yeah. So like I recall, right, when there was a funeral service, and we was viewing it. Actually, it was Drummy's funeral service. I mean, we was viewing it on the what's it now, Zoom, Zoom, and there was I would say a good like 300 or so was viewing it at the time. But unfortunately, there are some there who just do not follow the protocol of you know we can have these protocols when we're doing our Zooms, and people are just not following the protocol of putting their device on mute, right, so that they can hear, but we can't hear them. And I'm going to tell you, look, there's technophobes. There's technophobes who people who just don't know what am I do, and then there's just people who are just rude, and they don't care, you know. And this is the thing, is that we have to respect each other when we participate in those things. Even like when we call into the station here, you know, occasionally we have to tell the participants to say, look, could you put your device on mute, right? Because the noise that we're picking up is not only what you're listening and what you're participating in, but everything else. It could be the dog barking outside or the vehicles driving by. So imagine now if 10 people's on the line, and all the microphones are on, you're just gonna get all that noise, left, right, and center coming in through the one earpiece, and then obviously nobody's gonna be able to hear anything, you know. So when you go into those things, come in at least 10 minutes early, right? So that
Mhm.
you can see that everything is set, and you set yourself okay before the actual event starts, right? And then just ensure that you can hear properly. If you have external speakers or something like that, it's all set there. Your device is fully charged, you know, so that it doesn't break down halfway, and then you have to ask to come back in again halfway through and all them things there. It's because like some people do just set it up, and then they step away,
Mm.
right? But
Mm.
but you know, we have to be mindful of all of these type of things there, so
Mm.
which is good. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I get that. I definitely get that.
Hmm. Hmm.
But other things that have caught my eye
Hmm.
in terms of whilst I'm out here. So they'd And I didn't realize that. So they'd made the changes in terms of the Road Traffic Act, and they'd introduced it way back in November of last year to come
Mm,
into force on the 1st of the month, the 1st of, it wasn't April, 1st of February. Why 1st of February? Who knows? But 1st of February.
mhm,
So I'm looking in the paper today and I'm thinking to myself, hang on a minute. Why are so many people saying they don't know what's happening?
mm.
And then I'm reading the smaller, finer print, and they're saying they hadn't done a major news um,
Okay.
advertising promotion.
Mhm,
Changes are coming along. Now, I know I've heard it in the time that I've been here on the radio and on the TV, but obviously there's something else that they coulda, shoulda, woulda, but didn't do. So now they're going backwards and saying that they've finally government launches public awareness campaign.
mhm,
And you're thinking, but this is February, March, April. This is like 8 weeks on. They're only telling the motoring public what they need to know in order to have a safe journey and not to get to bypass the ticketing that will happen, can happen if they are stopped and they're speaking on their mobile phone, no seatbelt, the vehicle is not necessarily roadworthy, or the speed that they're traveling at. So I'm thinking to myself, but why didn't you do that beforehand?
mm,
Would you have stopped less people? Who
mm,
knows? But at least that card of, well, I didn't know, officer, can no longer be drawn because the changes have been made. But one of the things that I do like that they're doing is within the school curriculum for it's going to be children who are or young people who are about to leave school.
mhm,
They've got an opportunity of taking the equivalent of a provisional test,
mhm.
so that they then become more conscious
Of the
on the
road.
road. So when they do start driving, they're not wanting to be the next speed king or speed queen
One
around
of the
those corners.
one of the things that I'm surprised that they haven't taken on either, and to the ministers who are listening right now as well, you know, you can take this idea, and you know, put it on your agenda as well. But why is it that they haven't implemented a bicycle program, right? Because there are many children who have to travel a distance,
Mm,
right? Whether
mm,
it's taxi or whatever, right? But
mm,
if they had some form of way of getting there, so that um, they possibly wouldn't need to get into these cars
mm,
and buses as well, I think a lot of them would take that opportunity to actually use the bicycles, right? Then, in saying that, right, I'm sure that many of the motorists, right, inconvenient at the time as it may seem to be, would
mm,
be driving more cautiously because of the cyclists.
mm.
I know that we find, and I'm one of them as well. When I'm driving, I find cyclists extremely annoying, especially when they don't adhere to any of the road protocols or driving
Mm,
protocols.
mm,
Whereas a vehicle, if you're driving a vehicle, if you even cross a line in the wrong way in the wrong place, you
mm,
will get penalized. You know. So for me, I feel that it it would be a lot safer for our children to travel back and forth, right, to schools if they had those type of things. And the initiative is from obviously the Jamaican government, and
mm,
probably they could supplement the purchase of these bicycles,
mm,
or even provide them as well for the students, for the school children.
mm.
You know.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I was having a conversation with someone
Mm,
recently. So my thought is, okay, the rules have come in, seat belts for children in the back or on an appropriate seat,
Mm,
booster seat. And his response was, well, that's a waste. And I said, it's only because you could then only fit 3 children in the back rather than the 6 that they fit in, and then make use of the boot depending on the vehicle.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but his response to that was, oh, well, they don't sit in the front seat, so that makes it better. Then you've got 6 children in the back seat with their bags in the
Yeah.
boot, and that makes it better. So then
Mm,
so he didn't, I didn't mention it, but he mentioned the schools that have put on buses,
mm,
the price of the bus is too expensive. I said, because you're paying for a seat,
mm,
only one seat, one bum, one seat. So the buses he says that even though and I see quite a few school buses, but I always see them empty. I'm not
mm.
expecting to see them ferrying regular,
Yeah, yeah.
but they're not, and his response was, it's too expensive. So that,
Mm,
and what they don't do, so for him putting his child in a taxi, if he
mhm,
doesn't have the money, the taxi man's still going to take his child to school because the taxi man knows he's going to get the money at the end of the week,
mm,
or he's going to get double bubble at the end of the day. And
mm,
then he will also, if he needs his daughter, rather than dropping her at home, dropping her to our house, the taxi man does that at no additional fee. But
mm,
if you're on a school bus, you don't have that
mm,
flexibility. So that means they want the money. It's like getting on a bus. They want the money before you put bum on seat. And then it stops, it goes on a route from A to B. It doesn't divert to C, and it sure as hell won't go to D. So I
mm,
understand the
mm.
principle. I understand the principle on both sides in terms of making it happen, not making it happen.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Because
then,
like, it, it's one. You know, as you look at certain things that would could happen and what could help over there.
mm,
You know, and for me, you know, providing a bike is one of those little things that you could just do to ease off the pressure for a lot
mm,
of our children, you know, although, you know, some of them
mm,
want to walk up and down and all them things there. But
mm.
it's not every child is like that, you know. It's not every child is like that. So yeah.
So the disadvantage of that, and I know I've sat down and I've heard the conversations when I was in the UK in terms of you guys as car drivers and
Mm,
bicycles, and you should have a MOT, and you should be doing this, and you should be doing that. And yeah, and my reasoning is there are some drivers, bus drivers as well as car drivers, who
mm,
do crazy. But yes, you will get caught because you've
yeah.
got a number plate.
Mm,
And if I have a conversation with you on my bike and you're in your car, then I know who's going to win. So
mm,
I take that. I make those decisions knowing that if I get it wrong, I'm
mm,
for the high jump. Whereas if you
yeah.
get it wrong, you're still going to survive.
Mm,
Airbag and seatbelt permitting.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because like
But
obviously, you know, the bugbear with us as drivers, right? And you know, you're a driver as well. But
mm,
you see some cyclists come and then they stop. They come to the like the stop, and they stop
mm.
right in front of you, and you think, well, you can't accelerate as quick as I can. So why are you standing in front? Why are you going to be standing up in front of me for?
So
You know?
I am that person. I put up my hand. I am
Okay,
that
okay.
person who's going to stand
Why
in
would
front
you do that then? Why would you do that then?
so that I'm seen.
But you are listen. You got your lane to the left hand side,
Yeah,
right?
but as what people tend to see,
We're not coming into your lane.
no, but what you're doing is you're looking forward, and you're gonna. So that means there's often in some spaces there's like a space of, call it, the size of a bicycle in the
Mm,
front,
mm,
and then there's the car, and then there's the cars.
mhm.
In me, they give you that extra box as cyclists to give us a chance to get out of the way.
But you're
But
in the
that box
way.
is then often congested with motorcycles, buses and anything else with an engine. So you're still having to jockey for position. So I will often go right in the front of the driver. And then when I'm pulling off, I'll pull off and move to my left. I'm
So,
not
so,
going to stay there.
mm,
But
mm,
I need you to see me when you start your journey. Once you get the engine moving, I
mm,
need you to see me and be aware of me on the road. Because what we tend to do when we drive is we go into autopilot. How often have you got home and you thought to yourself, how did I do that?
mm, mm.
How did I do that?
No, no, but the thing is that you've got the lane, you got your lane to be in, right?
Mm,
Because I've seen it. I've been driving down the road, right, and I've got cyclists passing on either side of me, and I'm thinking, you got a lane on that side. Why are you overtaking me on the dotted line now? Why? You understand? And I think, come on now, stay to your lane. Stay to your lane because if anything, where do you stand? Where do you stand if you get crushed now? Huh?
in the middle.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Because it could easily happen that,
mm, mm,
one vehicle does glance you and then you glance
mm,
into me and I swerve to miss you, lick
mm,
off somebody else and all them things there.
mm,
You
mm,
understand? All because you were in the wrong position as far as I'm concerned.
mm.
Understand?
So for that, I know that there are some cyclists who are proficient.
Mm,
And when I say proficient, I mean they're on the road and
mm,
there's they're going through every green light because they're not getting catched by the red ones,
mm,
and they are proficient. And I would trust their cycling skills to the T. But there
mm,
are the same number who are not as proficient, who think
mm,
they are, who think that they are Bradley Wiggins,
mm, mm,
and will do like you say, cycle in the middle of the road. They're
mm,
not turning right. What they're doing is aiming to beat traffic
mm,
or make their journey a lot less, make their journey, ensure that their journey is swift. Let's use
mm,
that word language instead. Um, so I don't agree with what they do, and I would say that they will take their life in their hands in that instance.
mm,
But there are things that cyclists do that I do agree with.
mm,
So even though you say yes, we've got our lane, sometimes that lane is filled with either water because it's raining. Hey, we live in a country that it rains a fair bit, and or it's a gutter,
mm,
and the gutter in itself is not clean. So that means what you end up doing is you move further out and you move further out.
mm.
So in moving further out, all you just do is end up in some instances, sometimes you annoy the drivers.
Yeah.
But my perception is in traffic, a bicycle will always get where it's going before a car. In traffic, outside of traffic, a car's always going to get there. So it's having that patience. I know that I've cycled from Thornton Heath to Brixton, and I've been playing tag team with cars as I've been going down. Hey, I'm on the right side of going down a hill
Mm,
and been playing tag team with the cars. But I can see that as a car driver, you're getting upset. But it's 7 o'clock in the morning. We can't both share the bus lane because 7 o'clock in the morning says, as a car, you need to find your corner.
mm,
But you're upset with me because you can't share the bus lane, or you're aiming to make the best use of the bus lanes at 5 minutes to 7. You're giving me a hard time because you want to make use of the bus lane for that from Thornton Heath all the way down to Brixton. It's
mm,
not going to happen in 10 minutes. However hard you try, it's not going to happen. But everyone's in a rush.
mm,
And that's what the main cause is, that everyone wants to get where they're going quickly. The question is, do we want to do it safely? Do we give ourselves the right amount of time? As a car driver, more often than not, I'd give myself the last digits, minutes, and make you roll with the punches. With
mm,
on the bicycle, the one thing about riding a bicycle, you can guarantee the time that you're going to get from point A to point B
mm, mm.
within about 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Be-
well, I know say like with like driving, you might get an estimated time of like 20 minutes.
Mhm.
And you can double that because of the traffic stops and everything that you're gonna
Yep.
experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
Most definitely. But in terms of, and you posed it in terms of whether or not you could cycles in Jamaica. The
Mm.
nature of the roads, I'd say no. The way that they drive, I would say hell no.
Well,
I would.
this is in other words, right? I would say that those who are conscious of whatever, right?
Mm,
They
mm,
would be conscious that there are cyclists around, so
mm.
therefore they would slow down, right?
There wouldn't be enough people that are conscious that slow down.
Mm,
And I say that because I see how they drive now.
mm,
Um, and like I say, but and even the other day I was thinking to myself, in the UK, our indicators have a purpose.
mm,
In Jamaica, the indicators are aesthetically pleasing to the eye. The horn does what the indicator does, and
mm,
for me, it doesn't make sense.
mm,
But they use their horn like we would use an indicator. They're turning right, so they're going to bip their horn. Why not use the indicator so everybody knows what you're doing?
Tells you where you're going and everything, isn't it?
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
mind. Never
Help me to help you is what I see.
mind.
So
But then again, that's the rule. That's the rules and regulations. Anyhow, if any minister over there is looking to do something about the traffic, try that one there. Huh?
that yes, yeah, good luck on that one.
Good luck.
Good luck on that one. I wouldn't want to put any of my children,
Uh,
any of my young people on the road.
that one.
Not
This.
there's too many. They need to get the advertising out in relation to the new rules and regulations.
Mm,
Motorcycles. There were a couple of the large stores also sell. So you sell appliances like a dishwasher, and you'll also sell a motorcycle in the same store.
mm.
And
I look at
see
Yamaha.
a white good and two wheels and an engine, as well as a scooter without an engine,
Yeah.
in the store. But you can drive away with a brand new scooter or motorbike
Mm,
for $1,000 doing a payment plan. So
mm.
when they're talking about it, I'm thinking to myself, there's something they're missing in this conversation. And it's almost like they tagged it on at the end, and they
Mm,
also provide you with the helmet.
mm, mm,
And I'm thinking that's actually the first thing you should have told me, because
mm,
there's so many people that ride around with just a bandana.
mm,
You can't bounce on a bandana. You can, and it won't even keep in. If you fall,
mm,
it's not even going to stop any of the bleeding.
But then
But there's
again,
so many people that wear it.
I'm yet to see someone who wears cycling gear in here. So
Well, sometimes I've seen them in the full regalia, and I
really.
know even when I was in the UK, and a couple of guys were, in terms of where I used to work, was they came in. That was their normal commute, and they would often. I'd always ask them, "How does it work in terms of the UK and it being hot and you cycling and riding your motorcycle?" And more often than not, all of them said to the man, they'd prefer to be hot in the full regalia, so if anything happens to them, they've got a chance, rather than to leave things off.
Mm, mm,
Whereas
mm.
here, the principle is the opposite way around.
That's very early.
It appears to be the other way around.
Boy, I tell you. Never mind anyhow. So boy, the traffication. I remember when I was doing my motorbike riding, they said make sure you wear the proper footwear.
Mm.
Right? And then they showed something because it's easy. It's easy. Just a glance could take your foot off. You know. So,
Whoops.
I said, right from there, boom, pure work, work
There's
will
some
be
things you're not
on
going
it.
to negotiate on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? Because I tell you, that's one of those things you just don't know when you're gonna glance something and then boom,
Mm,
gone, your foot
mm,
gone. You know.
mm, mm.
So I did like when you're out there in Jamaica, you see a whole heap of 1 foot rider out there so as well.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah,
They
man.
will make do.
Mm,
They will often make do.
indeed.
But like I said, I love the spirit in terms of it doesn't appear to work, but they make it work.
Mm,
They find a way around it. There's that creativity streak that if it was bottled or channeled in a different way,
mm,
there's a genius on every single corner. And there's money in them hills on every single corner because of
mm.
how they think. But it's just how it's channeled or where it's channeled to.
I true that. I true that. Man. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Anyhow, right. We got another. Let's say 10
15,
minutes. Yeah,
14
15.
minutes.
Yeah, 14 minutes in the morning here on the galaxy of a we risings, galaxy morning risings. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I see the next presenter making his way, Dr. Oliver. Right. After him on our lineup for this morning will be Dr. Icon. Right, it'd be on this afternoon, and then it would be well, I don't know, I think it's Brother Jammers who's actually um covering. I think it's Brother Jammers who's covering for Dr. Abu, who's out for a little while, and then there'll be Brother Call who will be on the campaign for truth and justice, and then Nana Pakamprabai he'll be on later on this evening as well. Selector C, I'm not sure if he's around at the moment as well because he was at the trade union conference. He's at the trade union conference on stage as well, doing his thing up there because of
Okay.
representatives as a representative there, So
Mm-hmm.
he's very busy as well. So yeah, he may be joining us this evening. I'm not too sure. I'm not going to say yes or no on that one either. Right, so that's our lineup for today, um, and it's going to be a very very exciting day as well. I say exciting, it should be out here in our community anyway. That we'll be
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot anyway. So I'm remembering that today in the local area we'll be doing uh, appreciation towards Jashaka. We'll be out there goes with the official, let's put it this way, the official nine night is at Goldsmith University, which is on Lewisham Way, down there at New Cross. Right, nearest train station is New Cross Station, right, and New Cross Gate as well. Okay, so they're probably about the same distance from the university, and as you go through the main gate, the hall is right by the main entrance of the building as you enter into it. All right, so you don't have to be walking around the whole of the campus in that way there. So okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right. So apart from that, is there anything else you would like to add for this morning?
No, I've just said I've enjoyed the conversation.
Hmm.
Definitely enjoyed the
in
conversation.
in depth as it may be at times, in depth as it
Mm-hmm.
may be at times, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Taking that views and inner views of
But like I said, it's beautiful the fact that we have an opportunity to do so,
mm,
and looking forward to being able to do so again. But and also for our family just to ring up, our
mm.
listeners to ring up, tell us what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Let's have a three-way conversation. Let's have a four-way
And
conversation, a five-way conversation, a 100-way conversation. But let's have that conversation.
there we go. As you speak, we have somebody who's going to join us for the next 5 minutes, I presume. Right.
Okay.
Grand Rising, my brother Julius.
Grand Rising, brother, my brother Aspen and my sister Sandra.
Ah.
I believe I'm
Awesome.
not going to take 5 minutes, but I will want to give 2 minutes
Uh-huh.
just to show really how much I enjoy the conversation between you and Sister Sandra.
Thank you so much.
And yes, and at the same time, Sister Sandra actually opened my eyes and my understanding about cyclists, why they stand in front of cars and all these things. Yes, yes, which is
Yeah, man.
brilliant, brilliant. I
Yeah.
mean, it make me have some compassion now and understanding the reason.
Mm,
But this is the thing they never make let us understand
mm,
in this society.
mm,
But people like Sister Sandra are the people them I mean, they should be the mayor and the people them who should be counseling people about all this
mm,
sort of thing because she gives a very good perspective
mm,
about the cyclists, about
mm.
the lanes and the movement, and I mean it's quite understandable. So I want to recommend that even if Jamaica can even put as one of their mayor of Jamaica there, you know, because yeah, man,
They
she's so
haven't.
bright in that.
They don't have a door
So
wide
Sister
enough.
Sandra,
They don't have a door wide enough to let her smile come in there.
yeah, man. I mean, this is a good presenter we get. I mean, she can counsel as well, you know.
Mm, mm.
So I recommend that. But Jamaica need a mayor, and you should be the mayoress of that country.
Oh, let me tell you something. There would be some overnight swift changes that I don't think anybody's ready for. Trust me.
Yes, well, Sister Sandra, we are going to vote for you anyway because we
Mm,
need people like you with very bright, good understanding and the counseling and the way you direct
mm.
your speech. I mean, right. I mean, as I say, you even changed my mind. And anytime I'm driving now, I don't care about this bicycle. I know what they're doing now, but I never get no counseling at all, you know? Yeah,
Is it?
yes,
Is what?
yeah.
Is one of those things that I've learned how to zone them out at the moment because I'm thinking, you know what, I'm going to get myself into trouble trying to avoid their actions in preference to them doing their actions and me just driving in my normal way. You understand? So so,
Yes,
so I
yes,
just
yes.
I
I
just
tell you
stick
what,
I just stick to my lane and my speed limit. I'm all right still.
that's
Mhm.
it. That's it. You know,
Mm,
I mean, she learned me now how to be patient with them and understand. And the point she used when she said they want to see you, they want for you to realize that they are in front of you. But
mm,
really, I mean, the way she explained it, whenever they pick up, they always try to find the left again
mm.
and find their route and so on. So yeah, she have learned me something to be patient a bit with them because I'm always angry as well. So wow, why is this bicycle and bike is coming in front of me again? I don't want to get my way. You
Yes,
know,
that's it. That's it. That's how we do it.
that's it.
That's how
So,
we do.
Sister Sandra, I hope you will accept my recommendation for you to be one of the mayors in Jamaica, or even if you can be one of their great leaders there, because there's a lot of things Jamaica should be listening to you now.
I'm hearing you, and as paths go, you're possibly talking it into the future, and I will take up that mantle if when it happens.
Mm, mm. We don't say we.
Well,
Mm,
yes, yes, yes. I mean, we like to recommend people or whatever it is, people who are doing the right thing and have the right perspective of the way they think and analyze and put things into perspective. So these are the people there, not some stranger to come around who don't understand nothing. You even comment about, right, you don't like to put some of your children in front, yeah. Because of course I've been to Jamaica as well. I see the way they drive and the transportation, which is most of these black countries, them even in Sierra Leone, they are
mm,
where you will have maybe more than 20 people sit in these vehicles and the vehicles still go. I remember the last time I went there. That's how much we have been spoiled when we are in this part of the world. When I go to Jamaica, which happened in Sierra Leone as well, I'll say about 10 people or how many, 20 people can hang on the doorway, the van or whatever it is, ling on one side, and still people reach their destination. But when I went there, I was so scared because why? I was away from that system for a very long time. Even when they are at the top of the hill to the mountainside, I'm looking down and say, wow, is this still ling and go down? And you see a vehicle come there. But the people all understand this thing. But for me, I am worried because I'm not in that society for a very long time where people do this kind of things there. So I don't know how we're going to deal with that kind of situation or whatever it is. But, I mean, those things cause a lot of accidents, Sister Sandra, because you are there for some time now. Do you see a lot of accidents happen in terms of that? Because the way I see people even coming around these bends or whatever it is, there are times I almost want to worry, but for them, they're used to this kind of system now.
So they teach the children from when they're young. So that means by the time they get to an adult or adulthood, they see it as a normal behavior. And like you, I feel uncomfortable. I'm getting used to it now, but the thing at the back of my mind is that if there is ever an accident, that's why the fatalities are often numerous, because of so many people in a vehicle. And most vehicles that hold 10 people, 12 people, it's 20, 25 people. There's 2 seats, 5 people per row. And there's 4 rows, so that's 20 people for a vehicle that in theory only holds 9.
Is it like that? Like the minibus there? The minibus. They're overpacking them all the
But they
time.
do the same with the cars. But that's the new rules and regulations that they're brought in to aim to curb the behavior. But transport is cheaper that way around, so most people will use it. They do have the equivalent of National Express that will run across town at different locations. It's a better way of traveling. For me, it's a better way of traveling, but it's an expensive way of traveling for the locals who 9,000, 13,000 a month, a week. You can't afford that type of transport if you're going long distance.
And Sister Sandy, I want to say something really. Yes, you're talking about a bicycle and this sort of thing them in a place like Jamaica. Because I know actually they get some roads, them, even the footpath. There's some footpath them you walk and you see, you haven't got what you call a footpath, but it's like the road itself where maybe you might almost get scared to, wow, there's a car coming behind me or whatever. But I say, as you said just now, people have been trained, they know, they are aware these things are normal things in this society. But recommending a bicycle as well, which is a very good thing. Of course, now you get which is around or whatever it is. I mean, I think it's a very good thing. It's just that the drivers people have to be just like the way they're training us here now. I mean, you are a very good counselor in that. I mean, you have counseled me as well, who lives now, how to deal with the scooters and how to deal with the bicycle them on the roads as well. So I think that's the same thing they just need to do over there, really. But it's a very good thing to get there, like your bicycle, your motorbike, and so on, which I've seen people them with their motorbike, but the way how they handle it, that is another question.
So it's a pity, Brother Julius, that you rang so late, because there's a lot of conversation. You're going to need to ring back on Monday, if possible, where possible, and ring earlier, and then we can have a really good conversation.
Yes. As I say, I was just greeting in this. I was just calling you to just recommend you as one of Jamaica, mayor for the city, and you can get even to the extent of being a prime minister or president there, because you get a lot of knowledge, which you are observing the society. to deal with the society. So I recommend you anyway. I will be one of your voters in terms to come.
Thank you.
I give you
Thank
my
you.
vote.
I like that. I like that.
All right then. Right.
All right then.
Good conversation. Good program. Thank
Have
you.
a blessed
Thank
day.
you so much. Thank you so much. Anyhow, we're ready. We're ready to go. Hand up. Watch out. Watch out. Now. He just bust through the door now. Yeah, like him or something. Greetings, my brother.
Brilliant. I was waiting next door.
Yeah, he was waiting
That
next
guy
door.
said he was going to do 2 minutes.
Okay then. All right.
The rest of your time off.
Okay then. Right. Yes. So we come to the top of the hour now, and we're going to change over to Dr. Oliver. Right. So summarization, my sister.
It's good to talk, and let's do so and keep that communication level going.
Mhm.
And we've had a beautiful opportunity of doing that this morning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Elia, listen. Have a great, great few days over this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we shall be returning back on Monday here. But
Yep.
next up is going to be Dr. Oliver, right? So people move good.
Yes.
Nice Eastern segment season with Trample the Beast. Mr. Officer Man, what you want from me? Ease out. And me must be over here. Officer, ease out. Ease out.